Matthew, obviously this team's been so good at bouncing back from losses, going back a couple seasons now. When it comes to bouncing back, how much of that is technical and how much of that is mental in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, we're a very mentally strong group, so I'd say it's probably more technical than mental. I mean, we've got a lot of battle scars on us from the last few years, and we've been through, way worse than just that yesterday. We can be better. We can adjust a few things and, come out tomorrow and try to get a win here and get some momentum going back home.
Front right.
Carter, following up to that, what is it? What are the things you guys have been through the last 3 years? Like whether it's the Toronto series going down or Boston series a couple years ago, what are the sort of series past that you guys draw on in a moment like this when you lose a game one?
Yeah, I think we learn more from adversity than we do from winning, and I think every time you lose games or go through series where you're down 2-0 or losing in the Cup final a couple years ago, I mean, you learn a lot and. It's just sticking with it and being mentally strong. And, I mean, there's ups and downs in series, and that's what happens.
Left side, second row.
Matthew, what did you see from you guys in the third period? You guys were good shutting teams down once you get a lead. Edmonton seemed to just find that extra gear in the third and then kept it in overtime. What did you see from your guys, and how do you course correct going into tomorrow?
Yeah, it's... try to get on the forecheck a little bit more. Try to get in their zone a little bit more. We've been solid playing in that position before, whether we give up a goal or not. It is what it is. It was you got to tip your cap. It was a great play on their third goal to tie it up, and went through a bunch of guys and found the net. In overtime, there was chances both ways. They definitely carried more of the play there, and so it's stuff we got to look at and get better with. And we did some really good things that we're going to just have to do for longer stretches of time tomorrow. So, they definitely finished better than we did in the game, and probably earned that win. I mean, they dictated more of the game than we did. So, it is what it is. Back to the drawing board. And just try to play better than them tomorrow.
Right side, second row.
Matthew, is only your third road loss of the playoffs, which continues the trend of the last 3 years in the playoffs. You guys have been road warriors. Why is that, and how important is it for you guys to tap into that comfort going into a big game tomorrow?
Yeah, we had no choice. We were going to be on the road for the whole, I think, every team we were going to play this year in playoffs, especially after the first round. Like, we knew we were going to be on the road for the rest of it, so... We forced ourselves it. We made our bed and had to sleep in it, and now we got to start on the road and take one game and get home ice back. It's that easy. So would have liked for it to be yesterday, but like I said, it is what it is, and we feel comfortable on the road. It's a simple game. It's a hard game. It's an adversity type of game, an adversity type of atmosphere. We've said it a bunch. It's that us against the world mindset, but you really feel it, especially being down in a series. Your back's not necessarily against the wall, but it's you treat it as a big time must win in a hostile environment, and I feel like that's when we're at our best. So hopefully we can use that to our advantage tomorrow.
Front left.
Carter, you guys obviously played this team last year. The cores of the team are pretty much the same. Did this feel like a game 8 in that you knew everything they were going to do and you knew pretty much everything you were going to do, and so it's just a matter of who's going to do their game better?
I think every year is different. I think this year we have a bunch of new players. They do too. I guess our cores are pretty similar, but, I mean, you build something new every year. And we knew how they were going to play. We did a bunch of pre-scouting and everything like that. We knew their systems, but they're a really good team, and they're here for a reason. And, style-wise, I think they're pretty similar to last year. I think maybe they might be even a little bit better at defending and stuff like that. So, it's a good challenge for us.
Left side, third row.
Yeah. Matthew, there was some talk going into this series about how you guys felt you were better than you were a year ago. They felt they were better. It's only game 1, but I'm curious, do you think that played out? Did you feel that you were playing a better team than you did last year? Did you feel like you were even better at times?
Yeah, I feel that both of our teams are better this year. You could even see it. They held a lot of the play in the first. We got to our game in the second. They mixed and matched and changed up some of their lines in the third. Got some momentum from it. OT, we probably were better in the first little bit, and then they took over. So when you have two really good teams going at it, and two of the best teams in the league, you're not going to be able to dominate a whole game. And I think everybody saw last night, including us. They are a very, very, very good team and some dangerous players. And even when their top guys are playing together, they have other lines that can play. That hasn't been the case. They were really good last year, but going back to my previous years of playing them when I was in Calgary, that wasn't always the case there. So definitely their depth has been better, and like Carter said, they defend hard, block shots. Their goalie's playing well. So yeah, they're better. We're better. I think it's going to be a great series.
We'll take 3 more questions. Right side, second row.
Matthew, what's standing out the most to you about the playoff run Sam Bennett's putting together?
Yeah, just he's got a nose for the net. He's at the net a lot. Good things happen when you go to the net. He's confident. He's hard to play against on both sides of the puck. And he wants the puck and demands the puck. So he's been playing really well, and I'm gonna need another really good performance from him tomorrow.
Front left.
You keep saying that your team is better than this year, and I think a lot of us would agree. Yesterday, Gary Bettman and Bill Daly were here talking about what attracts players to a city or to a team, and it's not always what fans think, the taxes, the money. What is it about the Panthers that's created this culture?
What about the Panthers that's created the culture? I don't really know. I stepped into it a few years ago. It was trending into a winning culture. And I think just from experience, you build that. But I don't really understand the question, to be honest. So I think it comes with the players that are here. Guys like Barkey, guys that were here before me, like Eki, Forsey, Swaggy, guys that have had success but are such hard workers and winners before, and just hard workers that have fun. I think that's what starts to build a an organization from top down too. Like, we've got such a great ownership in the Violas. We've got a great GM in Bill, and the coaching staff led by Paul is awesome, and it's all about winning and having fun. So I think that's what creates the culture. But I was just one of the lucky ones. I got to step into it a few years ago.
Anything to add, Carter?
Yeah, I think when you come here, everyone puts you in an opportunity to be yourself, and I think that really benefits some guys who come here. And it starts with the coaching staff. They give you the opportunity to be yourself and put you in a position to succeed, and that's kind of what we built here over the last little bit. Like, bringing in guys like Chucky here made a big impact, and everyone, it seems like, buys in and just is not expected to be something they're not.
Last question, back right, standing up.
Matthew, just wondering, you talk about the atmosphere coming in here. Obviously, enemy territory for you guys, but the city was kind of buzzing all day yesterday, playoff energy, warm weather, everyone's feeling good. Do you feel that even as an opposing player? Do you build off that? Can you feed off that?
Yeah, you definitely can. You see more people. You see more people outside the rink than I guess you would in December when we play here. The energy starts early before games, like most rinks and cities do at this time of year, or in playoffs in general. So it's something as a road team you can definitely feed off of. And like I said earlier, it's not us against the 20 plus guys you're playing against, the 20,000 that are in the rink, the 20,000 that are outside the rink. It's just us against everybody. That's what makes playing on the road so fun and rewarding when you can get a win.
Thank you for your time, guys. Nate and Seth will be up here in a second.
For Nate, to kick it off,
Hey, hi.
Just obviously, you made some big plays last night. Just you waited a long time to get back to this stage. Just what did it feel like to be out there, and how happy were you with your game there in Game 1?
Yeah, anytime you can contribute in a big stage, the biggest stage of our sport, you obviously want to. When you look at the game beforehand and what you think you can do to help your team win, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, it wasn't enough for us. But hopefully, it'll be something that we, as defense corps, can kind of build on throughout the rest of the series.
Left side, second row.
Yes, Seth, a sort of a similar question. First time for you getting to the Cup final, know how much you've been wanting to get here. During intros, being on the ice for all that, seeing the Cup, just did that give you that sense of I'm here, and just what was that moment like for you before the game?
Yeah, special moment. I'm just trying to take it all in. Obviously the energy in the building was fantastic. So speaking to the guys last year, one of the loudest buildings they played in last year, and very intense. Everything leading up to it. You're just trying to focus on what you can do each shift before the game, kind of visualize and, try to keep your heart rate down, really before the game starts. So once that first shift happens, though, you kind of get settled in and just trying to play my game and make plays out there.
Right side, second row.
I was wondering if you could both answer this, please. They loaded up McDavid and Draisaitl in the third period. What's that like for you guys to defend against, and what's going through your mind? You're obviously aware when they're doing it.
Yeah, I think when they play together, they're obviously very creative players, and they make everyone around them better, and they like to look for each other, especially when they play together. Little give and goes, things like that. And then they're dangerous off the rush too. So, whether they're playing together or apart, it's a 5-man unit defending. Hold-ups, little things like that, just being physical on them is going to help us at the end of the day.
It's a really good answer. I don't really know what else I can add to that. Great job.
Right side, front row.
You guys, as a team, went down 2-0 against Toronto. Obviously, the group that's been around here before has been down in playoff series and has all these sort of battle scars, like Matthew Tkachuk said. What's the mentality as a team down in a playoff series, but also the confidence of knowing what you guys have done this playoffs and what this group has done the last few years?
Yeah, I can only speak for this last playoff run for us, but just in general, you're going to have moments in the game and moments in a series that you're going to be, on riding the roller coaster. And I find that you find yourself in an OT game one on the road, give yourself still a chance to win. These things are going to happen as the playoffs go on, and this team, I think, has an incredible ability to be able to not only learn from what they've done, but apply their experience to situations like this, especially on a day like today, right? And how we, get your minds into the game and then get it back out again, right? And get ready and be focused for the next one.
Left side, third row.
Nate, I think all of us here and probably you guys there would look at Game 1. It was fast, it was fun, it was exciting, comebacks, overtime. If that is an indication of what this series is going to be, what do you think that means for hockey? What do you think it means for fans watching this series?
Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of playoff hockey. When you get knocked out, usually you have some sour taste in your mouth, but I did turn into last year's series again. And just watching Game 7, you feel a lot of that same boil over, right? And a lot of that, going into, a tight game, whether it's overtimes or not. I find that hockey right now is on such a awesome climb, throughout the world and throughout our sport, and just the energy around it. I hate to point to one thing, but go back to Four Nations, and from then on, right, you have such a buzz around our game. So anything that can continue to enhance that will be great. Unfortunately, it'll probably be at the expense of us as players.
Right side, fourth row.
Hey guys, either of you can answer this. 7-game series is all about adjustments. If there is an adjustment to be made after losing Game 1, what is it?
You know what? I thought we did a lot of good things. We could do some video, obviously, and see the things we can do better to the neutral zone, maybe a little bit more offensive zone time. Some things we can look at, but they played a good game. They were solid defensively. They blocked a lot of shots, and we kind of knew that coming in. And there's just not a lot of space out there. Not a lot of plays to be made, really. So when we do get those opportunities, try to hold on to the puck, capitalize a little bit more on it.
Left side, first row.
Yeah, sometimes you play a good game and lose, and do you feel like you guys did that last night? I mean, and it just came down to a little random puck flying over the plexiglass?
There's lots of parts of the game that you look at and you wish you could be better at, and things that you thought you did well. I don't know if you can say you thought you could win every game that you play, but I think that we give ourselves a chance every night if we play the way that we want to. And but like we talked about today in our meetings, there's stuff that we have to clean up and things that we want to continue on for the next game.
Take a few more questions on the right side, second row.
Seth, what do you appreciate about how Sam Bennett operates in and around the net? And from a defenseman's perspective, what makes him so hard to contain in that area?
Yeah, he's very tenacious around the net. He gets to the hard areas. He's got a lot of great aspects to his game. He's super fast. He can score off the rush. Great face-off guy. You saw a little bit of everything last night. He's been one of our best players, I think, through this playoffs, and capitalizing on a lot of big plays for us and timely goals. But as a defenseman, you see where he gets around that blue paint. He pushes off. He makes himself big. Screens the goalies well. And it's just that constant body contact, I think, around the net that really elevates his game and makes it difficult to handle him.
Take two more questions, right side.
Seth, what would you say you need to do better as far as handling their forecheck and maybe cutting down on those long stretches you spend in your zone in the first and third and second half of overtime?
Yeah, I think maybe just staying a little bit tighter, just quicker puck movement, communication. That's all it is. They're obviously coming very fast at us. Their forecheck was very good last night. Their F1 and F2 were on the pucks quick. They were physical, so there's not a lot of time as defensemen back there, but just using little plays, little bumps to each other, communicating with each other, and not just trying to throw it away, which I think was happening a little bit, but I think we'll be fine in those areas. We've been decent all playoffs at kind of correcting those little plays on the breakouts.
Last question, back right.
Hey, Nate.
Jesse.
In Winnipeg last year, there were times where you weren't making the lineup, and then this year you go to Florida, and last night you looked so good. What is it about Paul Maurice that is able to get the best out of you and just out of all of his players?
Yeah, I saw just a glimpse into Paul when I was there in Winnipeg, and you just see that I find that he was kind of at he had built his his team and how he wanted to have it played, and in Florida I feel like he was able to take what he had learned positively and some of the things he wanted to change, and has kind of molded himself and in the team into the way into this new style that he likes to play, and I think when you get there, when you first arrive into Florida, he kind of gives you, and Seth can talk about this too, they give you a blueprint of how he wants you to play. And it molds that around your strengths as a player, and says it doesn't ask you to do more than what you should be doing, right? And so I think he's done a great job of with helping our D coach and ourselves and understanding what we need to do as guys, especially as new guys. When you come in, it's not the easiest system to just to jump into, but he expects a certain level out of each guy, and if you give that to him, there's no problems, right? And that's something that I find it was freeing for me, and you just once you kind of settle into how he wants you to play and into what kind of role he wants you to be in, and it takes a lot of the pressure off.
Thank you for your time, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
When asked about just the idea of bouncing back, Tkachuk really complimented this team's mental fortitude and obviously forged through your experiences the last couple of years. But how have you seen that aspect of this team grow, since you guys started this playoff run a couple of years ago, just the mental strength of this group?
It's just experience. You go through enough tough days after losses, every one of them in the playoffs feels like a weight, and you get used to handling it the next day and letting it go.
Left side, first row.
Paul, Aaron Ekblad, he's seen the best of this organization and
some leaner times.
Yeah, some leaner times, exactly. Just how much appreciation did you grow for for his game, and how important is he to your program and the style that you've wanted to play here?
He's critical, and we put Barkov, kind of the two long-termers, in the same idea. They were both really, really good players, and then there was a whole bunch of there's still room to grow and get better, and they were willing to do that. There's lots of guys in the league that say, hey, this is my game, and I'm playing this game. those two men have adapted and I think gotten better. I think Aaron, especially from the playoffs the first year, some of it is just the adversity that you survive makes you. That's so true about making you stronger. He broke his foot. He subluxed one shoulder, separated the other shoulder, tore his oblique, and I think I had a partial concussion. I think, but and played for the most part right through it. And I think at that point in time, that's when his game evolved.
Front right.
Paul, test your memory a little bit, but the first time you took a team to the Stanley Cup final, you had a captain on your bench. I'm just wondering, can you share a thought on Sammy, and do you see any of him in his boy?
Yeah, his boy's a little bigger, I think. I remember about Sammy was I was on the ice with the Hartford Whalers, and he took off in front of me. I'd never seen a guy skate that fast in my life. And then he did it in front. I was standing beside Darren Langdon one day. I don't know if you guys will remember that lad, but he was a tough lad. And he took off in front of us, and Darren said, man, just once in my life, I'd like to skate like that. So I went over and told Sammy that, and I'm not going to pretend like I can do his accent. He said, yeah, but if I could fight like that once, I'd kill everybody. So that's Sammy Kapanen's story.
Front right.
Real quick, Jonah Gadjevich came back in last night. Is he good to go? Just you mentioned the experience of your team in terms of you've been down in series, you've been able to come back. What is it about this group that has been so good at sort of harnessing that experience and learning from whatever you've gone through?
It comes from a foundation of understanding their game, so that when you show the pieces of the game that you like, there's nothing really new there. And then when you show the pieces of the game you think you can do a little bit better, it's never really, you talk about coaches making adjustments, it's almost all an adjustment back to form. We're a little off here, we can be a little bit better. So there's not a lot of changes that go on in between. Nobody's changing a major system. It takes months and years to do that. So just adjustments back to form, but I think they have a pretty strong understanding of their foundation.
Right side, third row.
Paul, I've heard from both your team and the Oilers that when you get to this stage, you just have to be okay that the other team's going to dominate stretches of the game and kind of wait for your turn. It seems to be a lesson that only the best teams seem to get past. I wonder why you think that's such a hard lesson to learn, and when you felt your team locked in on that.
I think the best teacher for us was 2 years ago in the Carolina series. I don't know how much you watch those guys play, but they're a shot volume team, and in that building they get on you at times and they'll own 10 minutes of that game, and if you survive it, you're fine. So with that idea, even in last night's game, there was heavy zone kind of control, and I don't know what numbers you guys run off, but I think there's about 5 to 10 seconds between of offensive zone puck control at the end of the game. So they were about 5 minutes, and we were about 4 minutes, 54 seconds, something like that. So it's the idea that if your game is right, that doesn't happen to you, puts you at 20 minutes offensive zone control and the other at 0. That's just never real. It's just not real. So understanding that when they've got their time, there are things you try to do to mitigate it. I thought we were actually pretty good at that. But each team will have that momentum. It'll come off unusual things. Sometimes it's a power play, but sometimes it's icings, a string of icings, a half-ice game. You lose control of the flow of the game is what we would say. And when you do that, you're going to be in your end for a little bit, and then you got to try to get it back.
Left side, third row.
Hello. There we go. Hey, Paul. I was curious about your assessment of the Barkov line in Game 1. It's never easy going against McDavid for a game. Are there things you're looking for them to build on for Game 2?
No, I think they were good. Like I think chances for and against we were fine with on what they were good. Yeah.
We'll take 3 more questions. Right side, second row.
Paul, you've coached against them many times when it happens, including last year in the Cup final. But when the Oilers put McDavid and Draisaitl together for a stretch, what thoughts go through your mind in terms of how you should adjust to it?
Well, in some point, because they're together, you have a better indicator of when they're coming off the bench. It's not as big a challenge at home. It's slightly more of a challenge on the road. So you need to have more than one line. Like the third goal was at the end of a shift into the second shift. So you need to have more than one line coming off the bench. And after that, they just got to go up and play.
Left side, third row, Dan.
Paul, obviously, it's been a year. You played a regular season, 3 rounds. Some players have changed, but I'm curious, in preparing for Game 1 and coaching in Game 1 and now preparing for Game 2, does it feel like a continuation of the Stanley Cup final last year? Does it feel like Game 8 is tomorrow, Game 9?
It doesn't. Like, there was more aberration in both teams last year. I thought that there was a. It's funny because Game 1, looked almost exactly like you thought it might look, right, for us. Game 1 against Toronto and the Game 1 against Tampa, it didn't look anything like we thought they were going to look, and they play in our division. So that was the unusual part of the game, is kind of what the video said was going to happen for both teams. There were parts that it was working for us, and parts it was working for them, but it was kind of what we thought it would look like.
We'll now take 2 more questions. Front right.
Was I too fast? Is that why? Well, that's not the way this works.
I missed.
This is not a time volume thing. It's a number thing. Analytics, people.
So piggybacking off Pierre's question, they put
McDavid
and Draisaitl together in lots of specific situations. And I think last night there were 3 times you iced the puck. You had your 4th line out there, and here you go. Out come McDavid and Draisaitl. So how do you prepare your roster, all of it, 4th line, up, for all those situations?
Well, they'll all see the exact same video, right? That we don't segment the lines and say, hey, you're only going to play against. They all see the exact same video, so they have an understanding of what it's going to look like. We won't necessarily leave the match, but everybody knows they're going to play some shifts. So even if you run 1 to 4, if they change faster than you and they come out in the 1 hole, you're going to catch half your 4 hole on that. So that's just an inevitable part of it. You'll find it usually, maybe a minute and a half more on the road than you would at home, but there's going to be a piece that it's going to happen.
Last question, left side, second row.
Nice one. Paul, you talked about icing earlier. There were 21 of them last night. Of course, there was the overtime. We got 8. Was that a result of good forecheck by both teams, lack of execution? And do you mind those icing? Like, is it something that you'll say your defenseman, go, you get the green light, I don't mind the defensive face-off, or you want to have a bit of control on that?
No, there's 2 different ways to look at them. There's even more. There's actually 3. You'll get a forced icing. Anton Lundell broke his stick, and we got in a little bit of trouble. We'll just take the icing, right? So those are the kind of the smart out icings that you want. The next one are the ones that you don't like, is you're not going to get to the red when you should. You don't like those. And then the bigger one, and this will depend on styles of teams, you see it more often on stretch teams. They'll launch something to somebody who's stretched, and they miss it, right? I thought we lost. I thought we just missed some. We missed some, right? They came up and we didn't get a stick on it, and if we'd gotten a stick on it, there wouldn't have been a problem. I thought that was more telling. We had the one on purpose, and then we had a couple of long flippers where we didn't get the right launch angle on it. And then the rest of them we just didn't get a stick on them for a couple of them. But I think 21, I think we had 42 in the 3rd period there in Game 7 last year, and we iced that puck 1,000 times. So I don't think we're getting that out of the game.
Thank you for your time, Coach.